Bay Faction is an alternative rock band originally hailing from around Boston, Massachusetts. I've mentioned them in an episode of Great Songs You Might Not Know, but I keep replaying their stuff over and over again, and yeah, I think they deserve a full video. If you do a light Google search for the band online, these are some of the headlines that you'll come across. Bay Faction is one of the most slept on bands, and here's why. Or Bay Faction is your favorite band you haven't heard of yet. With those kind of statements, the guys blend in pretty well with the rest of the musicians that I discuss in this series. The group is made up of lead guitarist and vocalist James, bassist Chris, and drummer Alex. One of the defining qualities of the band at this point in time is that they're still discovering themselves musically. Since the band's inception, they've tinkered with their sound, their messages, and this resulted in their debut album 2018's Florida Guilt. This, at least for the time being, is where they've found their identity as a group. Bay Faction, along with many other up-and-coming indie groups, wiped their super early back catalog from streaming services as they grew and released newer, higher quality material. They fully understood that with the release of Florida Guilt and with a change in their music, they might be alienating a lot of their fan base. But you gotta do what you gotta do. In a Steve Jobs kind of mindset, as an artist, you make what you want to make, not what your fans expect of you. Living in the past will get you nowhere, and I'm sure the boys following those ideals is what made Florida Guilt such a great album. When an interviewer asked them what specific genre this album was, what the music sounds similar to, they all kind of shrugged and didn't know what to say. Then James answered with this: "There's something beautiful about just letting it be itself," and I totally agree. That answer may be a bit too abstract for people that actually want to know what the band sounds like, so I'll do my best to describe it. Florida Guilt is very low-key, alternative, poppy, soft rock with hints of punk in there too. The lyrics throughout the album are very honest, and they reflect the transformation that the band has been going through. Musically and lyrically, you're never gonna find anything that's overcomplicated on this project. While you do feel those vibes of the transformation and self-discovery, the album is pretty chill and laid back. But when I say chill and laid back, I do not mean slow or boring. With a lot of the songs on the album, there's this unique X-Factor kind of feeling that I can't quite put my finger on. It's music for when you're relaxed, but you still want a little energy or electricity in there too. Imagine you're speeding in a car through a very serene environment. Mentally you're at peace and it's tranquil and there's a certain serenity to all of it, but physically you still have a little pep in your step. If you weren't in the car right now, you'd probably jump into the ocean or something. And I can't talk about Bay Faction without mentioning the irresistible vocals from James. His whole presence fits perfectly into this relaxed yet energetic scene that I was setting. His voice is soothing, but there's also a seductive quality to his delivery. It's a moody, inviting performance from him that really takes me from liking this album to loving it. There are a ton of great songs on this album, but here are a few of my personal favorites. The track It's Perfect is a fascinating little tune that describes showing interest and affection to another person. There's a fun moment halfway through the song when it seems to reset and start over. Youre My Bug takes some of the more unique steps production-wise on the album. By the end of the song, James is harmonizing with vocals that have some kind of robotic effect on them. And my number one favorite song on Florida Guilt is Soppping. After graduating college, James was having an existential crisis caused by his religious upbringing and his bisexual identity. This caused a lot of confusion, and no pun intended here, but guilt. As the Boston Globe put it, Soppping is about James wondering how to keep a man without accepting he's allowed to want one. I leave your house, it won't end. Get on the... I highly recommend you check out Bay Faction and Florida Guilt. They're actually on tour right now, so be sure to check them out at a city near you. I'm excited to watch them grow as a band, and I can't wait to see what they do next. Hey, thank you for watching that video. Be sure to check out Bay Faction. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. That stuff is easy and it does help. You can follow me on social media at RenshawHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.